المجمعين وبعد. الله علمنا انفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا انك انت عليم حكيم. So we are now in section 3.5, and if there is a time, we're going to discuss this section 3.6, which is derivatives of logarithmic functions. So we have these two sections. I'm going to focus on this because this is important, not only in this course, but later in future, we need it a lot. So we're going to spend much time on this. And in the other part of the health session, we're going to talk about or solve problems relating to derivatives of logarithmic function. This is also important, but we will see how we can progress in this health session. طيب. Now we are in the implicit differentiation, and the idea is that to find the derivative, or the main idea is to find the derivative dy by dx if the equation is implicit in terms of x and y, meaning that y is not given explicitly in terms of x, not like the other questions like this, for example. We see here f of x equal, y equal, y equal, y equal, and everything the right-hand side is x. This is explicit equations, explicit relation between x and y. But sometimes you cannot have it. For example, this equation, you cannot have it in a clear relation y equal function of x. Also this one, also this one. Sometimes you can rewrite the equation, but let's say, and which happen in fact in future, that you cannot do it. You cannot write y as a function of x in explicit form, so you have to deal with the equation as it is, like this one. And our objective is to find the derivative, dy with respect, derivative of y with respect to x. Okay. So now let's take with this equation first. X cubed plus y cubed plus xy, and let's do it here. Okay, in a side like this. Okay, so let's have it this way. I hope you all can see it now. So now what we have is, we have x cubed plus y cubed plus xy equals to 1. And he said find dy by dx. Okay, so now what we will do, we're going to differentiate each term with respect to x, keeping in mind that y is a function of x, i.e. y is like something like this. Y depends on a function. So let's do it now. What is the derivative of x cubed with respect to x? It will be 3x squared plus. Now what is the derivative of y cubed? Okay.
3y squared multiplied by y prime.
Y prime. This is a crucial step, Shabab. This is a crucial step. 3y squared times y prime. Okay. Why we have y prime? Because of the chain rule. Because of the chain rule here. Plus. Now you have a product of two things, x times y. Now here you cannot think of it as one variable. Actually, you have to think this is a function, this is a function. You have to multiply together. So you're gonna say the first times derivative of the second, derivative of y. What is derivative of y, Shabab?
Y prime.
Okay, thank you, Sulaiman. So it is y prime, Shabab, because we don't know who is the function y, so we write y, like this one. Plus derivative of x with respect to x, which is 1 times y, equals derivative of 1, you know that it is
0.
Yeah. So this is the derivative or the differentiation of the equation. Now you have to reorder this equation, taking y prime in one side, everything else in other side. So if I take y prime as a common factor, so you have 3y squared plus x, y prime equals, move this guy to other side and this guy to other side, so we have minus 3x squared minus y, and then okay, and then y prime equal minus 3x squared minus y divided by 3y squared plus x. Okay. So this is the whole idea about the implicit differentiation. Any question here يا شباب؟ طيب. So this is for the first problem. Now let's go to the second problem, and I want you to do it by yourself يا شباب. Now you are expert in Math 101, so please differentiate. I assume, يعني, let's say you have a paper, try to find a paper and pen and do it by yourself. E to the power x over y equal x minus y. I'm waiting for you, Shbab. Try it by yourself. يلا, I'm back now. يلا, who did it? طيب, سليمان خلاص, we took it. ناصر الحماد. يلا, ناصر. What you did first? Oh, before that, let me show you. يلا, give me your ideas. What we did?
Apply ln for both sides.
Okay. So this is section 3.6. Apply len. Okay. هذه next section. Okay, which is the section after this one. This is a good idea. One way to do it. But if I don't want to do it, because I don't want to talk about section 3.6 before it's time yet. Okay.
We have to get rid of E first of all.
But we can differentiate this one. We can do it.
Yeah, we can
using the chain rule.
We'll differentiate all of them. It will become the same. E to the power of y.
Very good. Times.
Time ln E.
Minus
Time.
y prime.
Yes, Nasser.
Equals 1 minus y prime.
Okay, let me do it here. Exy times d by dx of x over y equal derivative right hand side, which is 1 minus y prime. This is, يعني, but I'm talking about this part.
Yes.
Yes, what is the answer? You have denominator, you have a quotient.
Yeah, the derivative is going to be y squared in the denominator. Y times
plus derivative of x, which is 1, minus.
Yes. Minus xy, the derivative of y.
The derivative of y. Very good. So we have it this way here. Okay, Abdullah, you want to say something? The same, right? So this is the derivative of this guy here. Now you have to collect the terms. So y over y squared. So we have 1 over y ex over y minus x over y squared ex over y prime equal 1 minus y prime. What I did, I distribute the denominator to each term, multiply by ex over y. So we have these guys here. I can bring the y prime here, move this guy to other side, and collect. So you have 1 minus x over y squared ex over y prime equal 1 minus 1 over y x over y. And by the way, Shabab, you can multiply the whole equation by y squared to kill the denominator if you want. Yeah. Okay. But if you want to keep it as it is, so you can do it over 1 minus x over y squared ex over y. You can make it even better, but at least you know how to rearrange things. Okay, multiplying y squared both up and down. You can do it this way. Fine. Okay, thank you, Nasser and Abdullah. So, any question here, Shabab? Fine. This is for the derivative. Now we are in the third part. We want to remind ourselves about the inverse trig functions, which this is the textbook, by the way, exactly the PDF copy of the textbook. And you have this table in this section 3.5, the derivatives of inverse trigonometric functions, and you need to remember these. You need to memorize them, okay, as long as you are alive. as long as you are in the university. Maybe later, even after when you finish your degree, BS degree, maybe you will need them. Okay. So derivative of sine inverse of x is 1 over square root 1 minus x squared. Derivative of cosine inverse is minus what you remember of sine inverse. This is also important. Derivative tan inverse is 1 over 1 plus x squared. Derivative cosecant inverse is this, and secant inverse is this, and cotan inverse is this one here. So you have to remember all these 6, not only in Math 101, you have to remember, as I said, all the time, as long as you are alive. So now coming back to this one. Now we have tan inverse. Tan inverse, derivative of it, derivative of it is this one, 1 over 1 plus x squared. So let's do it here. Okay. So let me name smaller, make it clear, smaller. This one, yeah. So now, so we have tan inverse xy squared equal x plus xy squared. يلا, anyone can participate here يا شباب? Yes, no, سليمان سمعناك يا سليمان, جزاك الله خير. عبد الله, we heard you. يلا عبد الله, I think I did not hear your voice. يلا عبد الله.
We take the derivative of both sides.
This is what we are doing. Yeah, so what is the result?
بيصير عندك 1 over plus اللي جوا tan squared أو x squared times y.
So we have this. Okay.
ونستخدم الchain rule بعد.
فيصير لحظة yes.
بيصير أيضا derivative of x squared y.
Yeah. No, but I heard someone has a. Is there a problem?
A y move square. Y for 1.
No, but both all inside tan inverse are square. Let me do it here. Okay. Here. Let me do it here in the margin. D by dx tan inverse is x is equal to 1 over 1 plus x squared. So whatever you have it inside here, you square it. Okay? Of course, if you are saying with respect to x. So whatever you have it here inside, you square it. So when you square the product, you know that this raised to power, it is raised to power 2 and then power 2, so you have 4. Y raised to power 2, you have 2. Is that clear?
Yeah, clear.
Clear? Good. يلا يا عبد الله. Next.
Then we multiply by the derivative of x squared times y.
Which is, yes.
Which is
First time
2x.
derivative. Yeah, so you can say y plus derivative of the first times the second plus the first times the derivative of the second. What is derivative of second?
Y prime, yes.
Y prime. So we are done with the left hand side. This is the result. Equals
1
plus
the derivative of the first times the second, which is y squared, plus the derivative of the second times the first,
which is this one. Okay.
Yes.
And then you continue reordering this guy here. Okay, meaning that you need to multiply both sides by denominator, bring y prime in one side. I mean, at the end, try to write it this way. Okay, try to write it this way. Thank you, Abdullah. So this is the plan. This is what you need to do. طيب. The cosine inverse, cosine square number 4, you can do it. It's easy. Y equals sine inverse. Let us do number 5, yani, just to remember. Now remember that d by dx of sine inverse of x is equal 1 over square root 1 minus x squared. You have to remember this all the time. So if you have y equal sine inverse of 2x plus 1, the derivative will be y prime equal, derivative of y is y prime equal, and then you have 1 over square root 1 minus, you see here x, I'm squaring it here, okay? So that means whatever inside, I square it. Okay? And this is equal to 1 over square root Of course, when you open this, 1 minus 4x squared minus 2x minus 1, which is equal to minus 4 x squared minus 2x. Okay, so this is what we are having here.
دكتور shouldn't be 2 chain rule
ايه نسيت
2 in the
الشير.
numerator.
Yeah, multiply by 2. Very good. Multiply by 2, so we have 2, 2, 2. 2. Very good. طيب. Yes. So this is. طيب يا شباب عندي سؤال لكم. شايفين there is a negative يا شباب. By the way, this is a question a little bit not out from Math 101, but let's say you have x squared negative negative. Do we have a problem here because we are inside the rules?
We use negative numbers.
No.
Yes.
There's no problem.
No problem. Why? Suleiman said something. Yeah.
We can use negative numbers.
We can use. But what about if x is positive? Look
out
here,
of the
you have
domain.
x squared. What is the domain, Ajal?
minus infinity to 0.
No, don't throw it. Yes, Suleiman. Think about it. What is the domain? What do you need to enter inside sine inverse? What is the domain of sine inverse, يا شباب?
Minus pi
remind us.
to
Oh,
minus pi over
negative
2
1 to
pi
1.
over 2.
أيوة Farouk. So inside the absolute value of the inside should be less than 1. صح ولا يا شباب؟ should be less than 1 يعني less than 1 greater than negative 1. Okay. So now look here يا شباب. Let me do it in the margin. Should be less than 1. Okay. Even equal 1. We don't have a problem here. Okay. طيب. If you have less than 1, then 2x plus 1 is, you know that the inequality, you can break it out to this way, right? Okay, let me just put this aside عشان we don't want to confuse. الآن كيف نحل هذا inequality يا شباب؟ Plus 1, you need to add negative on both sides, so we have this, and then divide by 2, so we have this one. Now, as you see, يا شباب, x is taken between 0 and negative 1. Okay, so it is non-positive number. So here, we don't have a problem. But actually, because we're taking the derivative, we cannot take x to be 0. Okay, we cannot take x to be 0 here, يا شباب. Okay.
Teacher,
Yes. Yes, Yusuf.
shouldn't it be negative 4x squared minus 4x?
No, minus 2x. Minus 2x here, okay? Because x is a small number, huh? Keep in mind, it is between 0 and 1. يعني بنتكلم عن كسور. When you raise to power 2, it gets even smaller.
I mean negative 4x the second term.
Okay. Okay, yes. Yeah, you are right. Because opening the square. Yeah, so we have this. Yeah, you have this. Okay, Yusuf. Thank you, Yusuf. So this is what you have. It's coming from when you open the square. طيب. Okay, Shabab. So we know that x is taken as a non-positive number, so we can do it here. Okay, Shabab. Any question? What I did here, Shabab, يعني just outside a little bit of material, but just to convince yourself, when I see negative inside the root, يعني just a little bit want to, one be worried about it, what's going on inside. طيب. Next, in number 6, you have secant inverse plus this guy here, which you follow the rule of the derivative of the secant inverse, which is 1 over x square root x squared minus 1. Just apply it, substitute, use the chair rule, you will get the result. Cosine inverse of x, you have it here, minus this guy, which I leave it to you. You can do it this way. Okay, شباب? طيب. Let me share with you something since we are doing online. I found a website. Actually, I know about this website long ago. I don't know if you know it or not. Simple Lab. Maybe it's familiar. I'm sure many of you is familiar with this website, but it can do a lot of things in calculus, including the implicit differentiation. So, for example, if I put implicit differentiation of this guy, and you said go, it will go and differentiate with respect to x, which you will gonna have it the result as we found it this way here. Okay. and it gives you steps, but I think there is you need to pay. No, I think the version, the mobile, you have to pay it if you want to have more steps. But this one, yeah, this one also need you to pay if you want to see the steps. But at least you need to know the last result, and that's what you need to do. Okay, Shabab? So it's a good thing if you want to check your answer by hand when you solve one of these from 1 to number 6. You can do implicit differentiation and do it this way here. Okay. Fine. Yes. Any question? The website is just write simple app, just simple app like this.
Oh, by the way, عنده تطبيق دكتور.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they have in the mobile in the
yeah.
Google Play and App Store. But they give you only the final answer, and if you need steps, you have to pay for it. Okay, but don't think you need it. You need just the final answer. طيب. Let's go to the question number 7. Find y double prime if square root of x plus square root of y equals 1. Okay, how to use the implicit differentiation to find a higher order derivatives here. Okay, so let me just do it here. Find y double prime if the square root of x plus the square root of y equals to 1. Okay, so let me just يلا بسم الله. What should we do يا شباب؟ طبعا some of you will say, oh, I can do it. I can move the square root of x to the other side, take a square of both sides. That's correct. You can do it this way. But let's assume you have a complicated expression where you cannot write y in terms of x explicitly here. Okay. So let's differentiate. Derivative of square root of x يا شباب ايش هو؟
half
1.
Yeah, ممتاز. Half or 1 over 2 times square root of x. Very good. طبعا يا شباب يعني any time you see square root this way, do it this way. يعني easier to deal with. Okay. طيب plus 1 over شباب anyone?
2
2 square root of y.
y times
Y
شباب
prime.
y prime
equals
0.
Very good. Very good يا شباب. طيب equals to 0. Now the idea is this. You don't go to the second derivative يعني differentiate this one although you can do it, but it's better to arrange the equation in terms of y prime. Okay, it's better to arrange the equation in terms of y prime. So here you're gonna have y prime equal minus 2 square root of x. It's like when you move this guy, so you get 1 over and multiplied by both sides by 2 square root of y. So we have it this one. So you end up with y prime equal minus the square root of y over square root of x, or y prime equal minus the square root of y over x. You can think of it this way here. Okay. Now you have y prime equal. Now we need remember y double prime. Okay. So y double prime equals. Now you have minus. Don't forget. Why start with minus. And it's up to you. You want to use the quotient rule here, or deal it with as one thing and multiply by the quotient rule. It's up to you. So let's follow this one here. Okay, let's follow this one. This is if I want to differentiate as a square root of this, so we have 1 over
2 multiply by
the same rule. Okay, so this is what you do times
quotient rule.
quotient rule. So we have I'm talking about the inside y over x here. Okay, derivative of this one is x squared, and then you can say the denominator x times the derivative of the numerator, which is y prime, minus the numerator y times derivative of denominator, which is x, so derivative is 1 over this one. So we have this guy. Okay, now this is equals to minus the square root of x over square root of y. Why I'm doing this? Because you are saying 1 over. Okay, 1 over times. Now here you have x squared. Now here you have x times y prime. Now y prime, you bring this guy or this. You choose one of them, but I will choose this one because this one makes sense. It will simplify a little bit. So we have minus the square root of y over the square root of x.
Doctor, what is that?
sorry.
The 2 the denominator.
معلش يا محمد ارفع صوتك شوي.
2 in the denominator.
رقم 2 اللي في
yeah, this one. Yeah, you are right. There is 2. Yeah, forget about it. Thank you very much. طيب, yeah, so we have y prime, which is this guy, and then minus y, just put minus y here. Okay? So now, just simplify these guys here. Okay? Simplify these guys. Okay, when you multiply square root of x, it will cancel with the square root of x, cancel with the square root of y, so we have minus, and remember there is a minus here, so let me just put it these two brackets here like this. So everything will turns into positive, so we have 1 over 2x and so on, and you continue with this one. Okay? And by the way, the final answer is there. I believe, yeah, it is there. It is there. So this is the final answer. Okay? Any question here, Shiva? Fine. This is the way to find the y double prime. So let's return back to the other questions. Question number 8, it says if x times y plus e to the power y is equal e, find the value of y double prime at the point where x is equal 0, where x is equal to 0. So what should we do here, Shiva?
We find the derivative and then equal x to 0.
Yeah. So you find y prime evaluated at 0, and then I find the y double prime and substitute every x and every x by 0 and every y prime by the number that I find in the previous step. So I think this step is easier. You can do it. Number 8. Is there any question here, Shabab? Or something not clear here?
Can I substitute 0 by first step from the first step?
Yeah, because you remember to get y double prime, you have to do y prime, right? The first derivative. When you do the first derivative, you'll substitute x at 0 because you want to find the value of the first derivative at 0.
Can I substitute before the first derivative, or it's wrong?
No, let me do it here. Let me do it this one. So you have x, y plus e, y equals e. And he said find y double prime at 0. This is what he asked for. Okay? طيب. So I wrote everything. Now let's do it here. طيب. Let's differentiate, شباب. What is derivative? The derivative of the first, which is 1 times the second, plus the first times derivative of the second, which is equal to, plus e y times y prime equals to 0, right? So what is y prime, Shabab? Y prime is equal minus, because you will move here, minus y divided by x plus e y. Okay? طيب هذا الواي برايم. طيب when x is equal to 0, this implies that y equals what? انا ابغى اشوف قيمه الواي يا شباب، نحتاج اعوض هنا. ايش الواي يساوي ايش يا شباب؟ How to get y? You have to get it from the original equation, right? So what you will see, نعوض x 0 يا شباب، ايش يطلع لي؟ 0 plus or not do it here actually, let's do it in the margin here. كده الهامش على جنب شباب. نعوض x equal 0 ايش يعطينا؟ 0 plus ey equal e. معناته ey equal e. معناته y equals 1. ممتاز. يعني تاخذ اللي من الطرفين يطلع لك y equal 1. اوكي؟ فهذا كم يساوي؟ 1. طيب اذا x يساوي 0 y equal 1، الواي برايم بكم؟ minus 1 over 0 plus ايش يا شباب؟ e, right? So we have negative e negative 1. اوكي؟ طيب ليش احتاج y برايم يا شباب؟ لان لما اسوي الديريفيتيف في هذا هيطلع لي y برايم. Sorry, the image is delayed. When you take the second derivative, you will have y prime here, and that's why يعني it's either you substitute this guy in the y prime and then you need only these two, or do it here and substitute again. So y double prime equals minus here apply the quotient rule. So we have x plus ey squared times x plus ey times the derivative of the numerator, which is y prime, minus the numerator, which is y, times the derivative of the denominator, which is 1 plus y prime ey. Okay, so you have it this way here, and then y prime 0 equals, and then substitute. Okay, substitute here, so you have 0 plus e, okay, because y is equal 1, which is e times y prime. You see, now it's up to you. You want to bring this guy here or just substitute by this one. So you have, so you can say here negative e negative 1 minus y, which is 1, minus here you have e minus 1 and e y, which is e over 0 plus e square. Okay, and you will get the answer. Just simplify, because you see there is a cancellation, so you have 1, so this will be 0. This is minus 1 over e2. خلاص هذه على طول نقدر نجيبها. minus 1 over e2, which is e negative 2. Okay, so this is how you substitute in case of implicit differentiation, evaluated at the number. طيب. And the answer is, as I said, you will find it here. Yeah, so here we have it e negative 2. طيب, now let's come to the other questions. Number 9, for example. Find the equation of the tangent line to the graph. This at the point -1 and 0. What should we do, Isham?
Get the derivative of this equation.
The first derivative.
First derivative. So we are talking about implicit differentiation here. You cannot, in this equation, Shabab, you cannot have y equal. Okay, so we have to differentiate as it is. Do the implicit differentiation. And look here, Shabab, you have 0, -1 and 0. You have the point. So this -1 is x, and y is equal to 0. Wassalamu alaikum. Okay? Any question here, Shabab?
لا واضح.
Okay. Anyone?
Just a quick question.
Yes,
For tan inverse y, I will apply the formula and multiply by y prime, right?
Multiply by y prime, yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Thank you.
Okay. So this equation, I think it's clear, number 9, so you can do it. And anyway, you will find the final answer here. Y equal to x plus 2. طيب. Number 10 is something that we need to see it. Find all points on the curve x squared y squared plus xy equals 2 where the slope of the tangent line is -1. So let me bring this guy here. Let's put all the way, cover everything. So we have what? We have x squared y squared plus xy equals 2. And he said the slope of the tangent line should be equals to -1. So what should we do? Anyone يا شباب? Raise your hand if you know. Raise your hand عشان بشوف الأصوات الجديدة.
Differentiate and substitute.
No, raise your hand. الله يخليك. Of course differentiate, yeah. I know it's differentiate, but there is a step next to that one. معاذ تفضل يا معاذ. ايش نسوي يا معاذ؟ What should we do?
I think find the first derivative.
Of course we will do. Of course we will do that. But what is next?
Equal it with the slope is.
Who should we equal it to -1?
The first derivative.
Only y prime. Okay, only y prime. Okay, thank you, Muad. This is what we are doing. So of course, all of you will think about differentiation. That's obvious thing. But after that, -1 should goes for what? For y prime. So when you differentiate this one, say x squared times the derivative of the second, which is 2y prime. I'll write it this way. It doesn't matter. Plus 2xy squared plus now say the derivative of the first times the second, any way you want, which is equal to 0. So this is the derivative of the, we differentiated the whole equation implicitly. I got this one. Now let y prime equal -1. Why? Because he told me that the slope of the tangent line is -1. So what will happen? I will substitute. So we have -2x squared y, and I did here. Then here there is no y prime, so I will write it as it is. And here there is no y prime, so we'll write it as it is. And there is a y prime here, so we have minus x equal to 0. طيب, next. What is the objective, Shabab? What is the question said? If you read the question up, if you read the question, I don't know if I can point it. It says find all the points. Find all the points on the curve. This where the tangent line, the slope tangent line is there. So he said find all the points. Okay. So we need to find points of the form x and y, right? So at least let's find x يا شباب ولا y, واحدة منهم. إذا جبنا واحدة الثانية نقدر نطلع. Okay? So now I have equation in terms of x and y. I have equation in terms of x and y. What should we do يا شباب?
Can we solve for one of them?
We have to back to the original equation.
This is the original equation. What should we do? Yes, you in fact to solve.
Make it equal to the.
If you have two unknowns يا شباب مجهولين, two unknowns. كم معادلة تحتاج? How many equations you need? Two.
Two equations.
Yeah, this is one of them, the blue one, which I'm pointing it. And this is the other one, the original equation that we started with. So now we have two equations into two unknowns. How to solve two equations into two unknowns? Well, you have many things, but of course this is not linear equation. This is not linear equation. So one way to do it is one of your colleagues, I think Hushail or Muhammad Abbas, I think you want to say something about the black. What should we do?
Solve for any variables and substitute it to the other equation.
ممتاز, ممتاز. This is one way of thinking. So let's call this equation 1 and this is equation 2. So from equation 1 we get what يا شباب? Let's solve for يعني خلينا نقول ايش let's take x square y yeah, let's say this x square y square equal minus xy. Okay, sorry, plus 2. Okay, now the problem here is that you see there is a square one of them here. There is a square one of them here. Okay, so what do you think, ya shabab? What should we do here? I don't think that we can just simply take it to other side and that's it. Yeah.
Common factor.
If I took common factor, still 1 plus xy, you get it here. يعني
نقدر نعوض
1 plus xy equals 2. Yes.
Multiply by minus 2.
Multiply by minus 2. And then what?
Then we add them, so we make system of equations.
No, you cannot make it square. في حركة يا شباب, there is a way you learn how to do it, the prepare. I don't know if you know it or not. Because you see xy. Okay? So let me just show it to you. هذه square.
Quadratic formula.
Minus 2 equal to 0. Oh.
Quadratic formula.
Quadratic, yes. So what you will do, you can say this. Let u equal xy, then you have u square plus u minus 2 equal to 0. مظبوط؟ لأنه نفس الشيء يا شباب. xy, so you can have it u. Okay? And then طبعا يا شباب هذه واحدة من الأفكار يعني one of the methods that you can do it. So now u square plus u minus 2 equal to 0. This طبعا هذه يا شباب you can simplify it. It will be what and what يا شباب؟
موجب 2 plot.
Yeah, this one. Minus
exactly.
1 and 2. So now this implies that u equals 1 or u equal negative 2. Now this implies that. Now remember u is x and y equals to 1 or x and y equal negative 2. So now you can say y equal 1 over x or y equal negative 2 over x. اوكي طيب بعدين يا شباب ترى we have two solutions now ها
We have to decide whether we use the negative or the positive.
It doesn't matter actually. Why? Because he said in the question, find all the points on the curve. So this is 2 points on the curve. This is 2 points on the curve. هذه نقطتين موجودين على الكيرف يعني. And especially he put square. So both of them are there here. Okay. Now.
We substitute now.
So substitute y by 1 over x.
In equation what?
In the derivative. Yeah.
This one, the one we get it after the derivative. Yeah, very good. So here we're going to say substitute 1 by 1 in equation 2. So let me just bring equation 2. This is equation 2. So substitute y equal 1 over x. So I will put y equal 1 over x. This implies that. Now here you have minus 2. X squared times 1 over x. So you have x. Very good. Plus 2. Now here 1 over x squared. So we have 1 over x.
2. Yeah.
2 over x. So which is this way. Then plus 1 over x minus x equal to 0. Okay. So here you have minus 3x plus 3 over x equal to 0. How to solve this, Shabab?
X as a common factor.
Okay, you can take x. Actually, if you take common denominator here, you can take 3 as a common factor. X, so you have x squared minus x squared plus 1 equal to 0, right? Like this. Right. And then what? You have a quotient equal to 0 شباب. كسر يساوي 0. مين فيهم لازم يكون الله يسامحك. Okay.
البسط قصدي.
Yes, the numerator is equal to 0 or numerator is equal to 0. So you have minus x squared plus 1 equal to 0 implies that x squared equals to 1 implies that x equal 1 or x equal negative 1. Okay, 1 or negative 1. طيب هذه بالنسبة لما يكون y. So when x equal 1 then you have y equal 1 over 1 which is 1. When x equal negative 1 implies that y equal. طبعا ليش أنا أقول يا شباب كذا لأن لا تنسوا يعني don't forget that we did this. So we have y equal negative 1. So we have the points 1 and 1 and negative 1 negative 1. Okay.
بس
البوينتس هذه يا شباب when you substitute in the original equation you will get 1 1 1 1 and 1 plus 1 is 2 and the same thing for the second one. Yes.
الثلاثة اللي تحت اللي أخذناها برا القوس المفروض ندخلها إنه تدخل في أسوار المقام. آخر شيء في الورقة هذه.
Yes 3 we took 3 common factor out. Yeah, what's the problem with it?
المفروض نقول minus 3x squared plus 3 equal 0. أو حطها نفس الشيء.
we divide by 3 يعني you don't have a problem. Okay? Because I say equal to 0. طيب خلصنا يا شباب ولا في شيء ناقص؟
في شيء ناقص. استخدم الجواب الثاني.
هذا اوكي هذا. So y equal negative 2 over x implies that. طيب خلينا نجيب طيب يعني انتم عارفين هذا بس عشان ابغى اوضحها بدون ما تتلخبط. اوكي. Anyway يعني I mean just forget about this so we substitute this one. So what you will have
minus 4x.
Yeah. بدينا نلخبط. minus 4 4x 4x بعدين هنا يا شباب plus 2x and then you have 4 over x squared. Let's substitute يعني as it is. Minus 2 over x minus x equal to 0. Okay. Now here, look at these two, شباب. 4x minus x, we have what? We have 3x. Okay. Now here, 2, you have plus 8 over x. Sorry. minus 2 over x, okay, equal to 0. So we have 3x, 8 minus 2, which is plus 6 over x equal to 0. واضح يا شباب؟
ايه واضح.
طيب. So this is equal to, now the same thing, take common denominator, take 3 out, so you have 3 over x, or let's say like this, as I did before. So you have x squared plus 2, مظبوط يا شباب, equal to 0. Okay, I took 3 as a common factor, so I have x squared plus 2 equal to 0. ايش يعني هذا الكلام؟ يعني لازم يكون, what does it mean? It means that x plus 2 equal to 0, square plus 2 equal to 0. Is there a solution for this one, Ishba?
No, no.
No.
No. Let's say
complex number.
Yeah, exactly. No real solution because you are looking x as a real number. So the conclusion, the points are 1 and 1 and -1 and -1. هذه اللي جات من هنا اللي جبناها من قبل. اوكي. طيب. Yes. Any question here, شباب؟
دكتور.
Yes.
Can you go to step number 1?
You are talking about here at the beginning. Yes.
Yes. هنا نقدر يعني نحل بالنسبة لواي برايم لا فوقها.
اوكي.
يعني ناخذ واي برايم فاكتور بعدين نسويها بسالب 1.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. You can put these guys other side and divide by this. Okay, divide by this and then make it equal to -1. You can do it this way.
Okay.
طيب بعضكم يقول طيب I can do something else. I can multiply this equation, the number 2, by let's say x, for example. So you have here 2xy squared xy هذه مع بعض. يعني I can take 2 out, so I can replace it by 2, for example. And then you have xy. There is some arrangements that you can do it in this way here. Okay. طيب. Any question here, شباب? Okay, so this is it. Keep in mind, Shabab, that if you remember this step, y equal 1 over x. I divided by x. I divided by x. So it's like saying that x should not be 0. Okay, I should notice here that x is not equal to 0. Okay, and I'm sure that x never be 0 because of this equation here, the original equation of the plane. When I put x equals 0, Shabab, what will happen? This will be 0 plus 0, which is equal to 2. And this is never happened. X equals 0, when you substitute x equals 0, and whenever y, you cannot have it as a point on the plane. Okay, Shabab? يعني x, this plane will not intersect the y-axis. This is what I mean. Okay? So, so I am sure that when I divide by x, I'm not having any problem here. I'm not losing something. Yes.
لما طلعت قيمة الإكس نيجاتيف 1 1 كيف طلعت الواي؟
عوضت في هنا شايف؟
مو في المعادلة الأصلية.
No, here. Even if you do it يعني حتى لو عوضت معادلة 1 and -1 you can get it يعني because كلها جايين هنا. Okay. But it's better to خلاص when you get it خلاص we reach it. Okay. طيب. What we want to do here. طيب. That's it. So now let me just yes.
Could you send the link of the attendance in the chat?
Actually, I can show you the code. This is the code, QR code. Now take it for the moment. Scan it now. And let's see if the website opens now or not. Yeah, the website it opened, but it is a bit slow.
Thank you.
Let me just check the attendance for the moment. Yeah. I think there are 6 of you. Yeah, 6 of you did not do the attendance. Please do it if you did not do so far. I think the website now is running smooth now. Right. Okay. The next question, number 11. It says find if the normal line to the curve at the point 1, 1 intersect the curve at another point AB, then find this point. Okay. This is also one of the questions that you need to think about it, because if you say normal line, you need to find the derivative. And the derivative, you can find the equation of the normal line, but he told you that this normal line intersects the equation at this curve, another point AB. So that means you can substitute y equal in this equation, and you will find another x other than 1, 1. Okay, and you will find that other point. Okay, should I leave it for you, Shabab, or can you do it?
Can you please solve it, Mr.?
طيب يا Mr. Okay, now let's do it here up a little bit. Oh, not this one. Sorry. Yes. Okay. We have this curve, x squared minus xy plus y squared equals to 1. And he said normal line at 1, 1 intersect the same curve at another point. Okay, another point. So what we need to do first, we need to find the equation of the normal line at 1, 1. How to find the equation of normal line? Yes, Sulaiman?
First, we find the first derivative and substitute by x equal 1.
Yeah, differentiate with respect to x. So as Sulaiman said, so we have 2x minus derivative of the first, which is 1 times y, minus x y prime plus 2y y prime equal to 0. وبعدين
substitute x by 1.
1 y equal 1. So as you see, Shabab, we don't need to write y prime equal. Okay, y prime equals. خلاص, substitute, and it's easier to arrange numbers, or the arranging numbers is easier than arranging the variables. Okay, so we have 2 minus, and here 1 minus y prime plus 2 y prime equal to 0. So here this implies that y prime equal, because this will give you 1, and this one, when you put it other side, is negative 1. Right? Now, what is the slope of the normal line?
The reciprocal. It's 1.
Right. Slope of the normal line is equal the negative reciprocal of this one. So you flip negative 1, you flip it, it's negative 1, and then take the negative sign, which is 1. This is, you know it before. Yeah, because the normal line is perpendicular to the tangent line. What you found here is the slope of the tangent line. Okay, you want to find the normal line. Normal line is perpendicular to the tangent line, and you know from before that the slope of the two lines, the product slopes of two perpendicular lines is negative 1. Okay, so that's why we think of this way. في حد عنده سؤال في هذه يا شباب؟ هذه you should know it before. طيب, alhamdulillah, we are here. Now, what we need to do, let's find the equation of the normal line. ايش حيكون y negative طبعا the point that he told you is 1 1, so we have y negative 1 equal x minus 1, and this part you put the slope. The slope is 1, so خلاص I don't need to put 1. فايش يصير الايكويشن يا شباب هنا؟
y equal x.
Y equal x. Good thing that we have a nice equation. This is the equation of the normal line. طيب, what he said this normal line intersect another point, intersect the same curve, يعني يقطع الكيرف هذا في نقطة ثانية غير 1 1. We need to find the other point. What should we do? Yes, Osama.
Y equals y.
Y equals y, or y equals you mean something? Y equals y. Yeah, this is usually what you do in to equate or to find the intersection points. You equate the curves. Y equal y, but here you cannot say y equal, right? Here.
We can take every y and substitute by x.
Exactly. This is the other way to do to find the intersection points. Is substitute one of them in the other. If one of these equations is not clear or not explicit, so substitute y equal x in the equation of the curve. طب يلا بسم الله يا شباب. لو كل y اشوفه احط مكان x يا شباب. Every y I replace, so we have my x square plus x square equals 1. الحمد لله. هذا ايش يعطينا يا شباب؟ x equal 1
negative 1.
negative 1. هذه عندنا يا شباب. الآن الجديدة هذه. Okay. So the other point
minus 1 1 minus 1 وminus 1.
y, the other y is negative 1.
Y equal x.
أيوه هذا y equal x. So that's why you have it this way. Okay. طيب. I hope this is clear for the normal line part. Any question here يا شباب؟
Doctor, I didn't understand why كيف عندنا يعني الفوق والتحت ما فهمت كيف قلت عندنا الإكس equal 1 قلت عندنا كيف؟
يا عندنا أيوه لأنه هو أعطاك البوينت هذا.
اوكي فهمت.
فهو يبغى الثانية جبنا الثانية.
تمام.
What you can do even if you want to visualize the idea, يعني you want to go make it clearer, you can graph this equation using softwares or whatever and sketch y equal x. You will find this line, this is familiar line, it will intersect this curve at 2 points, at 1 1 and negative 1 negative 1. That's why he said this is a normal line, and it will intersect this, and it will be intersect the other point, which is this one. طيب.
شكرا.
Okay. طيب. The last part of this implicit differentiation is the derivative of the inverse function. Derivative of the inverse function. Let me move to that exercise. This is a textbook, شباب. Not here actually. Yeah, here. 77. This is exercise that you need to focus on. This is included in the material يا شباب. يعني ما هو مسألة اختياري optional. No, it is mandatory that you need to know. So it says this: if you have a function which is 1-to-1 differentiable function and its inverse, if inverse is also differentiable, we can use the formula that when you want to differentiate the inverse of f is equal to 1 over the f prime of evaluated at f inverse of x. So this is the rule, and of course, provided that denominator is not 0. You should make sure that denominator is not equal to 0. So we need to solve this one related to this idea. So let me just write it here in front of us. Yes, Sulaiman, what do you want to say?
ليه حاطي أقواس حول ال f prime؟
طيب. You are saying why he said f prime bracket.
أنا أقصد اللي برا.
هذه قصدك؟
إيه نعم.
Yeah, because the idea is this: you have a function f. I want to find the derivative, not the function itself. Okay, let me just show it to you. Yeah, here. Let me show it to you. Okay. The idea is this: you have y equal f of x, and what is the inverse? The inverse is this one, right? Let's say يعني whatever نخلة ولا whatever anything. Okay. انت ما تبغى الاف، تبغى الديريفيتيف حق هذا. اوكي. الديريفيتيف حق هذا. الاصل ايش تسوي؟ لما يكون عندك هذا الفانكشن لازم تكتب الانفرس. بعض الأحيان حساب الانفرس ما هو مباشر. Finding the inverse is not easy in many cases. And then find the derivative of this inverse. Find the derivative of this inverse. So this theorem says that no, you don't need to worry about it. Find the derivative of the f, يعني derivative of the original function, but inside here, instead of x, take f inverse of f of x. That's it. عوض بدل كل x inside by this f inverse of x, because you can find the inverse at a point. It's easier than find the inverse as a function. Okay. طيب. Let's take it one example. يعني on this one to be clear. Okay. So let's take one example. Example 12. He said let f of x equal x plus ex. What is the value of f inverse of 1 and find f negative 1? Okay, so let me just take this away and let's write it here. f of x plus ex. طيب إذا قلت لكم شلون تجيبوا لي f inverse of ما نعرف x, what does it equal؟ يعني ايش تسوي؟ حتحط، تذكروا شباب انتم في remember prepare put x y equal x plus ex. تحاول تخلي x يساوي يساوي a function g of y مثلا، حاجه زي كذا. اوكي. How you can do it? You see now you're gonna stuck because it's not easy to deal with it. Right? You cannot put x in one side and everything in terms of y. You cannot do it here.
Can substitute y by 1.
لا أنا ما أتكلم عن substitution، أنا بتكلم as a function. Can you find f inverse of x? Can you find inverse as a function? For example, if I said y equals sine of x, then x is equal sine inverse of y. هذه نعرف sine inverse of y ونعرف رسمتها ونعرف كل شيء عنها. Okay? If I told you y equal ln x, then x is equal ey, right? طيب لو يكون y equal x plus ex, what is x?
y plus e power y.
No, not
We
true.
can't do it that.
No, we cannot do it this way.
Right. Because we have exponential.
Yeah, you have exponential, you have x, you have plus. يعني it's not easy. Sometimes it's impossible to write it this way. فهنا الفكرة يا شباب. الفكرة إنه you cannot find the inverse عشان تقول والله أجيب الديريفيتيف حق الانفرس. Okay. لكن because of that rule, the rule in the black here in the book, we can do it. We can find the derivative of the inverse at any specific point. So now let's take this away. يعني بس عشان تشوفون أهمية الثيوري. Why it make it easy for us.
يا دكتور عذرا عن المقاطعة، لكن حلت أغلب الأولد إكزام وشرح الكتاب والشرح حق أغلب سائر الدكاترة، ما شفت سؤال زي كذا إنه تجيب الانفرس كذا حق المعادلة بشكل عام بدون ما تعوض، بدون ما يعطيك معطى.
ما شفت يا محمد؟
لا هنا يعطيك معطى. أنت من ساعة أعطيتنا المعادلة كذا.
but look at
المعادلة.
78. Yeah, there is here.
عقيمة.
About this one here. Yeah, something like this. This is the other one. 13, 14, all in the same idea. But yeah, as you said, you do need to find the inverse. You need, sometimes they gave you. Yes. But this question I took it from the book, which is this one. Exactly this one.
بس دكتور ايش الفرق بين هذا السؤال والاسئله اللي كنا ناخذها زمان؟ ما كنا نطلع الاكس ايكوال as a function يعني. كنا على طول نجيب الديريفيتيف، نقول الاكس حق the derivative of x is 1 and the
no, be careful. Now x is like a function of y. And you want to find derivative with respect to x. Now it's different situation. Yeah, we are talking about the inverse as a function. Whatever variable inside. Okay. But let's do it here. Let's do it here. Well, yeah. So let me yeah, here. Okay. Let's continue here. Let's continue here. So we have f of x equal x ex. خلينا نحل two parts. That's why we have two parts here. So to get the idea of the things. What is the value f inverse of 1 is equal to 1. طيب if f inverse to 1 يساوي x يعني لو في رقم number that it's equal to this one, then implies that if you take f both sides يا شباب, what will happen f and f inverse يا شباب?
Cancelling.
What will be the output of this one? 1 equal f of x. Okay. طيب what is f of x? The one that he gave me in the equation, which is x plus ex. Okay. فكأنك أنت بتحل هذا الايكويشن. Find x that will satisfy here by trial. Sometimes you can solve the equation. Sometimes you have to try. يعني because it's not easy to solve it. يعني to solve it by some techniques or methods and so on. So you have to substitute x by trial, let's say, or by inspection or by whatever. And you try the simple number. So for example, what will, well, because you have 1, we need to disappear this. So here you can say x equal 0. بعض الأحيان you can solve it يعني techniques, some equation, simplify, whatever. Sometimes you have to try it. You have to guess the number. But you see here there is e, there is no e here, so you have to think x equal to 0. Okay. طيب is it clear in this step يا شباب؟ أعيد مرة ثانية. هذه sometimes, I'm saying sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you cannot solve it يعني by any methods. You have to guess, you have to trial, you have to يعني substitute and until you get to 1 here. So many of you thought x equals 0, so that's why e disappears, so that's why I get 1. طيب. Now, what is the answer of the original question? We said x equal to 0, and at the beginning we said f inverse of 1 equal 1, so f inverse of 1, which is equal to 0. This is the answer of part A. At least I know the inverse function of 1 is 0. Okay? حطوا بالكم يا شباب ترى inverse function of x أنا ما أعرف إيش هي. Remember this. inverse of x ما أعرف إيش هي. ليش؟ قلنا قبل شوية يا شباب إنه ما نقدر نجيب يعني the inverse of this. You cannot find the inverse of this. أنا ما أعرف إيش هي لكن أعرف شيء واحد عنها إنه f inverse of 1 is equal to 0. Am I clear here يا شباب؟
أي واضح يا دكتور.
واضح؟ See now I know something about it but I didn't know the expression of that inverse because we found it that difficult to do. طيب now part B. We need to find this derivative at 1. Okay? And this is equal to the so I don't know who is the inverse, so I can't find the derivative, but I know that from the formula, which is this formula here in the black, 1 over f prime f inverse of 1. I just substitute 1 here. هنا الاكس حطيت 1 اللي هو طلب مني 1. 1. طيب الان نمشي كمان شويه يا شباب. Now this is equals to خلاص I'll take it away. This is equals to 1 over f prime of وهذه الجزئيه يا شباب كم بيساوي طلعنا 0. So we have 0. الان شوفوا معي يا شباب انا ما احتاج اروح اجيب الاف انفرس خلاص كل اللي اسويه اجيب الديريفيتيف حق الفانكشن نفسها يا شباب. So just in the side margin f of x equal طبعا هذا هو الفانكشن اللي احنا شغالين عليه زي ما تشوفون في البي دي اف فايل. What is f prime of x? 1 plus
e to the
power x. فصار f prime of 0 equal 1 plus a of 0 which means that 2. Okay. فارجع هنا اقول this is equal 1 over 2. واضح شباب؟ Any question here?
Mr. Can you go back to how did you find the f inverse of 1?
Yeah, this is how we found it. We said f inverse of 1 is equal x, anything, x, y, whatever, yeah, okay? We'll say equal to x. Then we took f of both sides and apply the function on both sides of the equation. So we got 1 equal f of x. And f of x is the original equation, but we have it here. And then we said in this step, هنا sometimes you can solve it by any means, any methods, whatever. But sometimes you might do by trial, by guessing, by substituting. Think of anyway. Here you have to do by trial. You have to think what x will fit here. We find that x equal to 0. And think of easy numbers, 0, 1, -1, like that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And that's why we say f prime m equal x. That x we found it 0, so that's why we put it 0.
Actually, we solve it by the definition of the inverse function. X is equal y of the inverse function.
Yeah, but what is f inverse of x?
Oh, this actually
we don't know. Allah Alam.
Yes.
We don't know. We don't know, and still yet we can find something. We know something about that f inverse function. We know,
but we cannot. But we can evaluate it at a specific number.
Yeah. What you mean? I understand you. What you mean? What if instead of 1 I have 2, I have 3, I have 4?
Yes.
What should we do? Okay. What should we do? What is the solution of this equation instead of 1 if you have? Let me write it here inside. What if you have 2 equal x plus ex مثلا؟ هذه يا شباب حتاخذوها في ماث 371.
والله خافي يا دكتور تجي في اسئله الفاينل كذا.
No, don't worry. He either can be guessed very simple number, or he will tell you that f inverse of 1 equal this, or f of 2 equal 1, whatever, as you can see now in the coming exercises. Okay. طيب. Okay. Let's go to question 13. أتوقع يا شباب يعني ما I don't know. I don't think that I can move to the next section because this one we need time. We need time to talk about it because there are a lot of things going on. So I don't want to restrict myself in this. But at least خلينا ناخذ section كده نشتغل عليه بالضبط يعني بالتمام. You get all the things that we need to do. طيب. And still you don't have any exam. I think only final after 4 weeks or 5 weeks. So يعني we still have time to go over these. طيب, now he said let f of x equals 1 plus 2x minus x squared such that x is less than or equal 1, and he said find this. Okay, find this. طيب, let me maximize this. Let's think together. What should we do? Now, we know something about this one. By the formula, this is equal to 1 f prime f inverse. يعني تلاحظوا شباب انه صار تغيير في الاوردر، يعني برايم بعدين جوا inverse of negative. ايش احتاج اجيب يا شباب؟ احتاج اجيب هذا اللي جوا. What is f inverse of negative 2? كيف نجيب f inverse of negative 2 يا شباب؟
Substitute minus 2 instead of f of x.
Okay, so we say زي ما قال نبغى ننتبه هنا f inverse of negative 2 نقول نفرض انه let's assume it is equal to x. ايش يعني يا شباب؟ يعني negative 2 equal f of x زي الفكرة اللي قبل شوية. Apply f both sides so we have this one. This implies that negative 2 equal f of x يا شباب أعطاني في السؤال اللي هي هذا. Okay, 1 plus 2x minus x squared. هنا يا شباب يعني this is a quadratic equation. We can do something about it. We can solve it. هنا ما يحتاج تسوي له guessing. No, we can solve it. Let's move everything to left side. So you have x squared minus 2x. وبعدين هنا 1 negative 1 فيصير ايش؟ negative 3 equal to 0. وهنا يا شباب زي ما انتم عارفين هنا ايش يصير يا شباب؟
minus 3 plus 1.
Yeah, so we have x equal 3 or x equal negative 1. يا شباب طبعا حطوا بالكم انه هذا function 1 to 1. So that means we only we have to find one of them. Or actually we need to find one of them, but look at the question.
There is a condition, the question, yes.
Yeah, so he said x should be less than or equal 1. Okay, so let's return back to this one. So here, remember, x is less than or equal to 1. This implies that x equal negative 1.
Negative 1.
Yeah, so this one and this we do. خلاص؟ طيب. What is the conclusion يا شباب؟ الآن f inverse of negative 2 is equal to now the one we found which is negative. ونرجع كمان لورا يا شباب، هذا حيساوي 1 over the derivative of الآن ايش؟ evaluated at negative 1. Okay? What is the derivative? خلاص, derivative is very easy, which you can find it. Okay? So I leave the rest. Any question here, شباب? طيب. في مسائل ممكن تجيكم يا شباب، يعني مثلا ما يعطيك الفانكشن لكن يقول لك find this if f of negative 1 is equal negative 2. طيب. So what should you do? ما يعطيك فانكشن، ما يعطيك اي حاجه، بس كذا يعني. وطبعا يعطيك f prime of negative 1 يساوي مثلا 5، يعني يعطيك معلومتين. Okay? So what you need to do, take this guy which يساوي 1 over f prime f inverse of negative 2 like this. حتمشي زي ما نحن، ها؟ بعدين يساوي 1 over f prime of، الآن أنا بجيب قيمة هذا، كيف أجيبها؟
minus 1.
ايوه هذه هي، شايفين؟ اذا كان ايوه يمكن هذا اللي بعضكم يسال، يقول لو جاني في الامتحان اشوف الاسئله بالطريقه هذه. هذا this implies that when you apply f inverse both sides, negative 1 equal f inverse of negative 2. Okay? So here we're going to have f inverse of negative 1 and f derivative I evaluated negative 1, which is 1 over 5. Okay? So that's it. This is another type of questions that you may see it, but it's very easy. طيب يا شباب, last question is question 14. It says let f prime of x equal to x plus k, where x is less than 1, and the derivative f inverse dx with respect to x evaluated at x equal 3 is equal negative 1 over 4. With f0 equal 3, find k. Find k. I let you do it يعني. I let you do it يعني ما راح احله. الكي هو نيجاتيف 4 لكن think about it يعني. هذا السؤال انتم فكروا فيه. Okay. It's very easy. Not حطوا بالكم شباب. Just remember this is f prime. ها. f prime.
حليت يا دكتور.
خلاص ممتاز. Just keep it with you because I leave it for you. يعني ما يصير أنا طول الوقت أحل. خلاص f prime think about it. But keep in mind هذه f prime يا شباب. ها. هذه f prime not f itself. It did not give you f at all. Okay, only this one, f0 equal. طيب, that's it for this section or for this help session. I leave this next help session. We're going to talk about it because there are a lot of things going on here, and I want to leave it in a separate or together with section 3.7. Together with section 3.7. طيب يا شباب, any question